Hull Kingston Rovers are meeting for the second year in a row at this stage of the campaign. Wigan won 30 points to 16 at Craven Park last year, but Rovers, they claimed their first win at this level against Hull last Saturday. It's their fourth playoff match. Wigan are playing a record 31st, and this is the team they hope will take them through to number 32. Tompkins at fullback, Goulding, Gleeson, Carmont, Richards, O'Loughlin and Luluai, who tonight is captaining the team. The forwards, Fielden, Riddell and Coley, Hanson, Tompkins and Farrell. And the bench, it's Prescott, McIlorum, Palliasina and Tucson, and the coach is Michael Maguire. So no problems there in the warm-up. Same again for Hull Kingston Rovers after last week. The same 17 that beat Hull. Briscoe, ex-Wigan. Fox, Wellham, Cockayne, Colbon, ex-Wigan. Morell, Dobson, ex-Wigan. Could that be a key factor? Vellas the skipper, Fisher, Clinton, Newton, Galea and Netherton. And the substitutes, Lovegrove, Wheeldon, Cook and Hodgson. The coach is Justin Morgan. Well, the Wigan Warriors know that their advantage gained by finishing top of the table was thrown away against Leeds on Saturday. They could be nervous, but Hull Kingston Rovers, they beat Hull 21-4 last weekend. It was arguably their best display of the year. They look as though they might be peaking at just the right time. Unlike 2009 when they fell out of the playoffs miserably, and look at the contingent that's come across the country to be with them here tonight in this battle. The Rovers' home form are on the field. Wigan, home form could be a concern. They have lost 4 of the last 6 here, and all against their title rivals, Warrington, St Helens, Huddersfield and Leeds. Teams that are all around them at the top of the table. They lost that classic on Sunday, 26-27 to the Leeds Rhinos. It's sudden death from here on in. They're desperate not to follow St Helens as the only team not to make it to Old Trafford, having finished top of the table in 2005. It's a record they don't want to match, but they must reach Old Trafford the hard way now. They blew a 14-point lead against the Rhinos. Of 12 previous playoff seasons, the team topping the table has won their first playoff game 8 times. In 2000, when Wigan last were the league leaders and topped the table, they lost to St Helens in week 1 at home. They beat Bradford then to get to Old Trafford, but they lost the grand final. And Thomas Luluai, the skipper, knows that this year they've got to win tonight. They have to win next week at wherever they might be playing, and then perhaps they can start thinking about Old Trafford. Jason Netherton had a great game for Hull KR last week. As I say, they peaked at just the right time. Can they repeat the dose here? They've had 24 hours extra to prepare. Richard Silverwood is the big match referee. Wigan really should have been playing last Friday, but because this ground wasn't available to them on the Friday, the fixture had to be pushed forward to the Sunday, and I wonder whether that will come up and bite them tonight. We shall see. It's going to be Wigan who will attack from right to left, who will get this game underway. The Cherry and Whites against Rovers in the change strip. Richards gets us underway. 80 minutes, and it's death or glory.
Certainly is, Eddie, and it should be real excitement, but the forwards have got to muscle up. This Wigan outfit, they realised that Rovers were just far too strong up front in the forwards against Hull last week. And I must say that the Warriors, they slackened off. They've got to make sure they go for the full 80 minutes, and they've got to make sure that their composure and their discipline is good. It allowed Leeds back into the game last week. They can't afford Rovers the same latitude.
Here goes Clint Newton on a drive forward. Riddell met him with the tackle. Carmont with the right thigh heavily strapped. O'Loughlin was in there as well. And that is Joel Clinton. Lots of NRL Grand Final experience in this Rovers pack. There is Dobson. Dobson with a good kick. It hits the ground but bounces into the arms of Richards. And Wigan's top point scorer in a season works it forward.
Well, what an important change there for Wigan. Having Pat Richards standing in the centre of the field trying to take the kick. Sam Tompkins, who has been named as fullback, standing over on the left-hand side of the field. So I don't know whether Hull Kingston Rovers are aware of that, whether they want the ball to go to Richards early, or whether they'd rather put it to Tompkins.
Fielden will drive the ball forward to halfway. Interested spectator Mick Potter in the crowd. He will have the choice of who his team plays to get to Old Trafford on Sunday. About 1:15 You can see that on Sky Sports News HD on Sunday afternoon at 1:15. He will pick the winners of this weekend, the match tonight and the match tomorrow. This is Liam Farrell. He's gone around at Wellham. There was a dummy runner coming through, and it's obstruction, a Hull KR penalty.
And he knows it as well. There's a youngster just steps across and knows that the man's coming through on the angle. There's nothing they could do about it. Took a while, though, for the official Richard Chilwood to say that. But it's obvious, sorry, Phil, but it's obvious that the Wigan, like they started last week, they want to give it plenty of air, and why not? The 3 quarters this season have been absolutely sensational.
It's really important what Sean O'Loughlin did there, Eddie. Creating space for your outside players is harder than what it seems, but he straightened up the play, and if he continues to do that, I think Wigan, with a superior speed out wide, could cause problems.
Fisher, the dummy half for Hull KR. They're inside the Wigan half of the field. This is Joel Clinton now. And Justin Morgan, the Hull KR coach, watching on. This is Dobson. Finds Wellham, who comes on the diagonal run.
Well, it's
goes down on the tackle number 3.
It's something that Rovers done all throughout this season. They like to go to the blind, bring someone back on the inside. They got good work ethic at the forwards. They really do back each other up well.
Here is Fisher. Fisher with a little drop of the shoulder, tries to go down the middle. Hauled down by Hansen and Liam Farrell. Now it's with Ben Galea. That bounced off a Wigan player straight to Carmont. I think it was O'Loughlin's chest that got in the way then.
Just a little bit too strong and a little bit too high. It needed to be dinked into the ground. Didn't fail to do that.
This is Sam Tompkins now.
They know he's the man to stop. They've got to make sure that when he links in from the... This is the kick there that couldn't get it right the way through. Galea should have been dinked to the ground.
Gleeson taking it forward, playing the ball to Mark Riddell somewhat untidily. Riddell going straight at Fisher.
But it's a good ploy to play quickly. They've started very strongly of the Warriors.
Well, this stage, they get a penalty here. This stage against Leeds last week, they already had a try on the board, and we're on the way to the second. Galea is not impressed that he was penalised for that.
Well, he thought that Luluwai had started to continue on, because the ball-carrying arm had not hit the deck. And that's the reason why he's appealing to Richard Silverwood, and I think he's got it right. Badly done to.
So penalty for Wigan takes them deep into Rovers territory. With Gleeson to restart, 10 metres away, and he goes for it himself, Martin Gleeson. Almost caught them cold down on the short side there. Now it's with Luluwai. Luluwai then infield, it comes to Coley. Coley drives it in at Newton.
Switches on.
Right underneath the sticks, they'll come left and they'll find O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin wide to Richards. Try for Ben Richards when he puts it down. Number 31 of 2010 for Pat Richards. Long looping pass. He had to stretch for it. And that young man was disappointed, so disappointed on Sunday. But he's dancing with delight here tonight. Early try for Pat Richards, early try for Wigan. 31 for the campaign. Prolific season for Pat Richards. He's now past 1,500 points for Wigan with that 4-pointer.
This came about by the penalty. Rovers will be complaining about it because the ball-carrying arm did not hit the deck, but it was a beautiful pass here from O'Loughlin. See how they utilised Carmont. Came as a dummy runner. Both the Rovers defenders went for Carmont. It left a huge gap. Thank you very much indeed. Went very close, didn't he? But he knew what he was doing. He's done it so often, and boy, is he happy. He's becoming a star, this kid.
So Richards try, and Pat Richards now will try and add the extras. 14 points he claimed on Sunday. A new point in the season record holder for Wigan now then. 406 points for this campaign. Courtesy of that 31st try of the season. 1,500 points for Wigan. How prolific has he been? And this to give Wigan a 6-point advantage early. Following the pattern for Wigan. They build an early lead. Can they hang on to it this week? Richards adds the extras. They need 6-0.
They've done it all so often, haven't they, Wigan, this year? Create the overlap, and this man finishes off. Look, 2 men, they went for Carmont. The gap was there. He's tall enough to pull in the highest of passes. And Wigan are off to a flyer yet again.
It's a good point you make there, Steve-O, because I think Peter Fox would be very disappointed the fact that he got lured in there. I think one of the instructions that Justin Morgan would have given Peter Fox was make sure you hold your space on Pat Richards. If he's on the touchline, you need to be very, very close so you know you can get to him.
That could have been a knock-on against Mick Vella, but the referee saw it another way. Here is Jason Netherton now for Rovers. It's a very important turnover for them. But this now is Cockayne, he gets it away to Fox. Fox is over! It might have been a mistake from Fox that allowed Richards in, but there's this almost immediate retribution for Rovers and Peter Fox. He looks confident enough, they're just checking the grounding.
It's a brilliant finish, Eddie, if he goes over here. The limited space he had, he's got to the line. Has he got the ball down?
Yes, he has. And that's momentum that's taken him home. That's no double movement.
They'll look for the legs. They'll look to see if he's anywhere near the whitewash. I think it's okay. It's all right for the grounding. Watch for the leg. It's okay up to there. It's okay up to there. And
it's okay.
This will be just, yeah, boy, did you good job. It looked as though the right leg was going to go to the corner post. That will be the confirmation. What a way to strike back.
Immediate response from Rovers by the looks of things. Ian Smith's the video referee. He says a try for Rovers. Well, that's exactly what Rovers needed. Peter Fox with the try. He got a try in the playoff defeat against Wigan last year. Got 3 tries also in the Four Nations last year. Left out of the squad against France in June. I wonder if he's playing his way into a tour in these playoffs. Peter Fox has put Rovers on the board immediately after Wigan scored, and Michael Dobson here now to try and add the extras against his former club. Tight to the touchline though, difficult kick this. Left-footed though, so he'll try and drift it in over the top of the bar. And Dobson has kicked it magnificently. 6 apiece, and the giant Rovers travelling army are celebrating the fact they're level.
Super play. Look how Dobson utilises 2 dummy runners back on the inside. Cockayne delayed pass was superb, and it wasn't a bad finish, was it, from Peter Fox? Just didn't have the strength. Had a second go at it. Looked as though Richards may have the upper body strength to push him over, but it failed.
And I think Hull Kingston Rovers need to view this as an 8-round contest, each round being 10 minutes long. But they have to go point for point in every single one of those. And the first 10 minutes is when everybody in Super League knows Wigan are out there very strongest. If they can get to the 10-minute mark, still on equal terms, that's a big tick in the box for the Rovers.
They've got less than 2 minutes to achieve that goal then. Ben Fisher is the dummy half. He looks for the runner. And Clinton it is who takes that tackle. He's only missed 1 since arriving from Brisbane in February. This is Clint Newton now.
Isn't it amazing, Eddie? The times when you scored a try and then you just come up with the error. You get it back. That's a neat little kick through.
It is, and it's Ben Fisher, and Ben Fisher hacks it forward again. Cockayne will go in and will give Rovers the lead. The referee will want to check all the ricochets, all the bounces, all the kicks forward. Offside, onside and everything else. But Ben Cockayne looks like here he has given Hull Kingston Rovers the lead.
Beautiful kick. I think it was Newton that got the ball. They're all on side. That's fine. As soon as it ricochets away, you'll see that Fisher is behind, so that's play on. Did Cockayne touch? I don't think so, and he's behind the kicker there. Wonderful work from Fisher. And Cockayne kept his cool. He knew he was on his way to the line. This is unbelievable. Wigan hit them with a wonderful try from Richards. Fox replies, and now Cockayne. Does he get the nod? He does.
15 days to go to Old Trafford, and Ben Cockayne has fueled the belief that Rovers can play an important part in this race to the grand final. They lead at Wigan.
Well, it wouldn't come as a surprise to Wigan, Eddie, because 4 weeks ago, when Rovers entertained Wigan, they tried this play very often. It didn't quite come off for them. The grubber kick through the line, time and time was in practice, because they know the strength of Wigan defence is difficult to break through. But the accuracy of the kick, the onside chasers, and the enthusiasm from Ben Cockayne has given them the lead.
2 tries in 3 minutes. And Dobson here to add the extras and give Rovers a 6-point advantage. It's Wigan 6, it's Hull Kingston Rovers 12. And Wigan, the league leaders, find themselves behind early.
Superb stuff, though. You really have got to give him. Morrell got the kick in right back on the inside, and so did Fisher. He had presence of mind. And Ben Cockayne has silenced the home side. Boy, the visitors, they've come a long way over the M62, and there's a lot of those fans have fully enjoying that. It's amazing.
They've come with a massive following because they've got a great record on this ground. It's 3 wins from 5 visits to the DW Stadium for the men from Craven Park, and Joel Clinton is out there. And the big forward pack is starting to take it to the Wigan Warriors. Here comes McVella. Well, 10.5 minutes gone. Wigan have in the past been 10, 12, 14 points up at this stage, but right now they are trailing against the team that finished 7th in the table, Hull KR.
Well, it's amazing how a ricochet can just go your way earlier. The kick from Scott Morrell, they were pretty close to the Wigan line. Didn't go astray, but it did on that occasion. They got the ricochet. Oh, that's well taken.
It is. It was dipping right in front of Pat Richards from the boot of Michael Dobson. But he managed to scoop it up off the ground.
Just interesting to note with the football, Hull KR have played down their right side all the time. They've gone at Wigan's left side defence. They obviously feel that coming off their own line, they're going to make yards, they're going to make metres, they're going to play the ball quick, and they've been able to do that and actually come up with a try there before, because they stayed on their right side and were able to get that little kick in behind, and of course they got the bounce of the ball that you require.
Here's Liam Farrell now. Farrell playing at loose forward, the cousin of the great Andy Farrell. Plays the ball there to Riddell. Here is Lulawai. That could have been forward. Joel Tompkins hangs on. Riddell is there at dummy half. They go down the right side with Lulawai. Slides the kick in. Oh, an awful bounce off Wellham. Vella can't get out of jail. It's a goal line dropout.
Well, it's what you expect in pressure football. Utilisation of the short kick through. Got the nice bounce. Lulawai came off Wellham, but he was there to the rescue, was the skipper. It had to be as well. They won't mind the fact they've got to drop the ball out. They know they were put under a lot of pressure there. Must have taken a bang on the back of the head from one of the Wigan players. I think you'll find it was George Carmon. No, it was Gleeson that made the impact. Not a bad dropout.
Here comes Fielden. Wigan looking to respond to that try, and he's still going, Stuart Fielden.
Getting back to his best, isn't he?
31 last Tuesday. New 2-year deal. Wigan have a penalty here because Hull KR were not standing square at the play of the ball.
They've got to go for broke. Don't worry about taking the 2 points, surely. They need plenty of possession.
Well, they might have gone for it at 6-all, but 12-6, it's a different story.
Yeah, you're right.
Here's Coley.
They need to camp down there. They know they've got the player power. They know they've got the good kicking game as well.
Test of this Rovers defence then. It's with O'Loughlin. Good ball then to Carmon. Took that in well. Cockayne got to him, but here is Sam Tompkins. Tompkins trying to go for the posts. Grounded by 4.
And that's the advantage, you see, that Tompkins, if he could get a quick play the ball there, 4 would-be defenders got to leave a gap out wide.
This is Lulawai. 3 tackles gone for Wigan. It's a big test of Rovers' defence, this. Riddell, short ball. Farrell is in. Liam Farrell with the try for the Wigan Warriors. This could have 60 or 70 points in it tonight. Liam Farrell with the try, and he has got Wigan back in contention. It's 7 years since Wigan last contested a grand final. They're both desperate to make progress here tonight. Liam Farrell with a try, and a try in consecutive playoff games for his club.
Super play. Gets the penalty, and from it, watch Mark Riddell. Zip. Looked as though he was going to utilise him as a dummy runner. Delayed the pass. Was it flat? A few of the Rovers fans think that perhaps it may have been a touch forward. And I'll tell you what, from that angle, they may have a bit of a shout. Can't go to the screen for a forward pass, but I think you'll see that that is very much a touch in front. Very fortunate indeed not to be picked up by the officials.
Well, the crowd picked it up behind the posts, the Rovers supporters. They watched the replays on that big screen you can see there, and they didn't need anyone to tell them that that looked forward. Pat Richards has added the extras, 12 apiece. Could have another classic building here, fellas.
Well, it's certainly shaping up that way, and I tell you, one of the brilliant parts of that try was not the fact that Liam Farrell ran the angle that he did, but it was the Mark Riddell pass. Whether it was slightly forward or not will certainly be up for debate, but the fact is he sold it so well. He looked like he was going to pass out the back. He actually told some lies with his eyes, as we say in this game, and he confused the defence, because you would have expected the pass to go out the back, and Liam Farrell ran a very, very good angle, and it's a well-worked try, that.
Well, we've had 4 tries in the opening quarter of an hour of the game. And when you think LKR lost here 32 points to 6 in February, they were beaten 38-10 at home only last month by the Wigan Warriors. They came in here as big underdogs.
Well, it's quite obvious, Eddie, that both sides are not going to finish this game asking a few questions. They're going to go for broke. It's as simple as that, and this could be a fantastic treat for the viewers. 4 great tries already.
Riddell has a little scamper forward, will go home at the end of the season because of illness in the family back home, and gets the penalty here because Netherton was all over him.
I think for one moment there I thought Netherton was getting a little bit of a chicken wing here, applying pressure on Riddell's right arm, and I think that's the reason why Silva would have got onto it. Well, we talk about composure, we talk about discipline that you've got to have in these tense games in the playoff. And look how it changed last week. Leeds were out of it, and Wigan allowed them back in. They can't afford the Rovers the same latitude.
Harrison Hansen, beg your pardon, Andy Coley played that ball then to Riddell. Here is O'Loughlin, now it's Coley again. He picked it up with a standing start. He hadn't moved away from where the play the ball took place. Plays it again there to Riddell. That is a good run from Riddell.
He's right on the hook, and he's got
it's a knock-on by O'Loughlin. That's a shame.
Tried to take it on the half volley, and he knows how important it is, but this guy is red hot at the moment, Mark Riddell. Where did that last try for Liam Farrell? And the opportunity was there, okay. Just couldn't get to it. He knows the opportunity has been missed.
It was O'Loughlin's mistake, though, operating at standoff tonight. The only survivor of Wigan's last grand final in 2003. Here's the mistake again. Kept it alive.
And it's runs like that you can see yet again. 3 and 4 would-be defenders are pulling through. If you can get the ball away quickly, we know how quick these 3 quarters are, and the cherry and white.
That's good defence from Wigan, though, from the base of the scrum. Peter Fox forced back to the 10-metre line. Fisher quickly off the deck to Vella. Wigan very quickly up in their faces from Marker and from the defensive line at the play the ball.
And this is where that Wigan defence, their discipline has to come through. Can't afford to be slow, get not squared at the play the ball, give away territory.
Ben Cockayne had a fine game last week against the Black and Whites. He shone against Hull, and they get the penalty, Rovers. This is a relieving penalty.
Michael Maguire will be furious. He knows what occurred last week, and anybody who were watching at the half-time, he was furious inside the dressing room.
Dobson dumps the ball into touch, and Rovers will start from just inside Wigan territory with Fisher. And here goes Rhys Lovegrove.
So much talk about the fact that Wigan have to try to control the kicking game with Scott Morrell and Michael Dobson.
Knee up in the play the ball, penalty to Rovers.
Well, when will they learn? They're going to go for the 2.
Well, Riddell certainly hanging on.
Well, I just lifted the right.
Not really any movement
No,
of
not
the
really
right knee,
there,
really.
But I suppose it's made the intention.
The first grab, that was the penalty.
Yeah.
I think he saw his right leg come up here, just to it moves back. He's just moving back there. That's what he thinks is the.
He's been confused, but
the
either way,
knee in the chest. Anyway, it's a penalty to LKR, and you're right. They're going to take the kick at goal here.
it's probably the right thing as well, because it's been a while since Rovers has been down anywhere near the Wigan try line. In good form, this kid.
He had so much to do, didn't he, with Wigan avoiding the drop when he was here. He and Brian Noble, the coach. But Dobson, whoops, it's in off the post. Well, what do they say? When things are going for you, they go for you.
Yeah, you mentioned Eddie. A few years ago, he was a hero here, wasn't it? And he's just got the bounce. They're not thick, are they? Way for thin, I would imagine. But it was enough to knock it back on the inside. A vital 2 points.
Well, I suppose it's interesting, Eddie, here now that the judges in the second 10 minutes that we've had in this game have given it narrowly to Hull Kingston Rovers. They've got a 2-point advantage, and each 10-minute chunk is a significant step for Hull KR, because the pressure would mount on the Wigan side, finishing at the top of the team, at home in front of their own supporters, with the weight of expectation. The longer they stay in this, and particularly whilst ever they have a 2-point advantage, the odds are favoured for the Hull Kingston Rover team.
Richards restarts. Michael Dobson, by the way, has just passed the 1,000-point mark in his career. That includes 124 points he registered for the Canberra Raiders in a season with them in 2007. 879 in this part of the world for Michael Dobson, and an in-off to take him past that line mark.
And it just shows you what a valuable player he has become. The point I was trying to make earlier is that everybody realises Wigan had to try to cut down Michael Dobson, especially his kicking game. They've really worked overtime in that department. Sean O'Loughlin has been given that role to make sure he's put under pressure. Oh, it's a shocker from Newton.
But Cocaine switches the direction of the attack. Down the middle goes Briscoe. That's the last tackle, though, for Rovers. And Dobson with the kick. It's a sliced kick towards the touchline. He's outside the 40. It's a great bounce, actually. It's a tremendous bounce for Hull KR.
To say it was a misdirected kick, wasn't it? It came off the side of the boot, but it spun the right way. Oh, they're going for broke, Wigan.
Flinging the ball around in their own 20-metre zone. This is a good run. And the Wigan crowd think that they were offside.
Quick play the ball. That's something that the Wigan have done tonight very effectively indeed. They want to get on with the game.
Hansen finds Carmont. He bounces off one, he bounces off two, he tries to go through three more. The player taken out by Lovegrove off the ball. It was Pat Richards.
That's silly play. You don't need that. I mean, it's, you know, Rice, Lovegrove, why on earth do that, okay? He could see that his mates had already finished the tackle.
You almost feel as though something like that should be stronger than a penalty, shouldn't you? You know, it's worse than just putting your hand on the ball to slow things down. It's a more serious offence that he's just given the same punishment.
Well, you can only sin bin or sending off, Phil. That's the biggest problem. There's the ball breaker, the big fella.
Palliacina is on. McIlorum is on, and here he is at dummy half. This is Lulawai. Goes to Tompkins. He jinks away from a couple. Brilliant pass. Wide it goes to Goulding. Goulding has lost it.
Oh, he's lost it. That'll be a knock-on.
Fantastic attack and wonderful defence. Was it punched out by Hull Kingston Rovers? The referee has asked Ian Smith to have a look at this.
Beautiful play. Is it punched out? Yeah, it is. Good work by Sean Briscoe. Now then, who makes it dead in goal?
This is where we have a contradiction in the rules, because in the general field of play, that would be a penalty, and therefore a penalty try, but this won't be a penalty try.
No, you're right.
But we do have some confusion.
Well, it's a penalty to Wigan because there's 2 men in attendance, so that is akin to ball steal. So it's got to be a penalty to Wigan, surely. But it's good work by Sean Briscoe, you have to say that.
Well, he's even if he's in the act of scoring, it's still going to be a penalty because he's in the field of play, isn't he? So it's got to be a penalty to Wigan.
Yes, it's a penalty. The referee wisely handing it upstairs to Ian Smith just to check that as he saw it at ground level, so the cameras proved he was right.
Well, coaches sometimes say that we've dodged a bullet if we survive and don't concede a try at that point. But they've got 6 more players here, and Wigan will be very dangerous. I think they've looked good in attack tonight, Sean. Movement to the ball, both left and right, has been impressive.
Well, they have, Phil, and it's been the sides that have given penalties away. You give up easy meters, you put yourself under pressure. Wigan's done the same. Hull have just capitalised. It's now Wigan's turn to capitalise.
And here is Fielden. He's not scored for ages. Stuart Fielden, and he's not going to score on that particular move there. McIlaurin waits at dummy half. On his toes, he gives it to O'Loughlin. He bullets it to Luluai. Luluai finds Tompkins. Tompkins over the top. Goulding won't be denied this time. Wigan back in front. They move that so quickly from one side of the field to the other. And Darryl Goulding, 25 tries in the weekly rounds, joined second. And he was involved in his first playoff appearance for 3 years against Leeds last week.
Well, they should have learned the lesson. The Rovers, the dummy runner come through and you just came out of the line. You can't afford to do that. Liam Colvin put himself, but this is the one before. This was good by Sean Briscoe. But Goulding was going to be disappointed yet again. What on earth was the winger doing here? He was in absolute no man's land. He left Wellham with too much work to do, and Goulding flies in at the right corner. Justin Morgan will be disappointed. He has to get the message out. It's going to be a one-on-man marking when it comes close to the line. As soon as they utilised the dummy runner, there was never going to be any doubt that Wigan was going to score the try.
Well, while Pat Richards was lining this kick up and while we were watching the replay of Darryl Goulding's try, Mick Feller was giving his team the rounds of the kitchen behind the try line. He was finger pointing and he was shouting and he was cajoling. Anyway, Wigan have taken the lead and Richards here to try and add the extras. 16-14 it is at the moment to Wigan. Kicks on its way. What would he have given for one of those last week? 18-14, Richards hasn't missed one yet.
Look at that, Liam Colvin has gone right between the centre and the full-back, Sam Tompkins. Beautiful finish. But Justin Morgan and the rest of the team will be saying, hey, come on. Feller is going absolutely bananas and saying, we go man-on-man marking. He'll get the same treatment at half-time from his coach, Justin Morgan, too.
Dobson with the restart. Gives it to O'Loughlin. This is Prescott. Bill, it's yours.
Eddie, a bit of mystery about the fitness of Andy Coley, who came off some time ago, and I just looked round to see where he was on the bench, and there's no sign of him. And I think he went straight to the dressing room after he came off the field, just reappeared in actual fact. Just possibly got a bit of a bang. It seems to have a bruise to the side of the head. But I tell you what, Andy Stuart Fielden, likewise replaced a moment ago, absolutely furious to be taken off the field, questioning why he was off.
Here is Joel Tompkins. Briscoe gets to him and snares him, the Hull KR fullback.
Great work, though. They're keeping it alive, Eddie.
This is O'Loughlin. Last tackle here for Wigan. McIlaurin allowed to run. Pops it up to Tompkins. He'll hoist the kick wide, looking for Darryl Goulding. Darryl Goulding's there. It's bounced, and it's hacked clear by Chris Wellham.
Well, they're in all sorts of trouble in the defensive line. The Rovers, there was no call there. Colbert and Wellham got all mixed up. Great run from Joel Tompkins. Just didn't get the support. Good job that Briscoe got to him. But the quick play, the balls that Wigan are producing are just ripping the Rovers apart.
It's got everybody on their feet here at the stadium.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point Steve-O makes. It's probably taken till about 13.5 minutes before half-time to see it. But that last set of 6 of Wigan's is what's going to win Wigan a game, and it's what's going to cost Hull KR the game. If you can't control the quick play of the ball, you're in trouble against any team. But any side like Wigan will take advantage of it. If they're allowed to play the ball and play on their terms, they will score plenty of points. Hull KR have to dominate. They have to control the tackle.
Sean, the thing that's worrying me about the fact that anywhere near your own line, within 10 metres, you've got to have a man-to-man marking system. They're still utilising the sliding defence.
Yeah, well, most coaches will say you don't slide off your try line, of course, but what the wingers tend to do, Steve-O, is come up and in and take the odds. And if you're going to make a decision to do it, you need to make sure that play counts.
So, Tompkins gives the ball to Luluwai, who finds O'Loughlin, who gives it eventually to Tompkins. It went behind him. Cockayne was receiving treatment, you might have noticed, as we were waiting for that goal line dropout, and he was a little bit slow then to see the problem, and I think Tompkins has got a problem. His hand's up. He needs attention from the physio. This, meanwhile, is the last tackle for Wigan, and here's a kick out wide from O'Loughlin, looking for Richards. He's claimed it. Richards gets the ball away, and has Clint Newton picked that up? He has.
Oh, great take, wasn't it? They always utilise it, let's face it. Richards is such a tall man. Just got away with it there. This is where they've got to roll up the sleeves now, the Rovers. They've got to try to settle things down.
Looks like Tompkins is all right. I'm not sure he didn't have a finger or a thumb put back, a dislocation. But he raised the hand immediately. This is a relieving penalty, meanwhile, for Rovers. There they are, he wants some attention.
Can't see whether anything
was it the little finger?
Either way, just one yank, that's it.
They can't get it back in. I think that's the problem. It's
yeah,
very,
Chris
very
Brooks
painful.
is there now trying to do it, the doctor.
Isn't it amazing? They never want to look.
I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to feel it either, dearie me.
I think he was telling him to relax. You relax and we'll get it back in.
Well, the finger is still dislocated on Sam Tompkins. He's moved out to the wing, and Pat Richards has gone to full-back.
How do you relax your fingers? Difficult.
Here is Briscoe.
It's good defence. Solid. You can see Wigan have muscled up, man-on-man.
Dobson. It's the ball in field.
Will they kick early?
Lovegrove to his feet, plays it to Fisher. Now Galea. Galea to Morrell. His kick over the top is not the best. Richards was there. Down to Bill again.
Eddie, it looks as though Sam Tompkins is going to have to play on until half-time with this dislocated finger. In fact, he's just having it strapped now. So obviously the idea is to at least relieve some of the discomfort until they can get him off the pitch at half-time and then have a look at it.
His hand must be throbbing. He's having it taped as this movement develops on the other side of the field.
And again, great work, quick play of the ball. Look at, they've got themselves in a good position. Here he comes, the big fella. Devastating at times, isn't he?
And that will gladden the heart of Sean McRae watching him, because of course Palliasina, one of the new signings at Wigan, at Salford next year.
Crowd thought that it was a little bit late into the tackle after the kick. Mr. Silverwood had, I think he was committed.
There's a big hit on Luluwai. Here is Colbon, meanwhile.
Eddie, that's 3 of the 8 10-minute rounds gone, and Wigan, I think, are throwing more of the punches, both in attack and defence. I think they've got greater control of Hull Kingston Rovers here, and it's only been the penalties they've conceded that have allowed Hull KR to get downfield. Look, they're committing a lot of 3 men to tackles. The test will be whether they can continue to do that in the second half.
We've got the Magnificent 8 here tonight. The Magnificent 7 is on Sky Box Office tomorrow night. The Magnificent 8 rounds of 10 as far as Phil is concerned for Rovers. 18-14 at the end of the third of them. It's a very interesting comparison you're making, Phil. See what you mean, see where you're coming from. Dobson jinks away, gets the ball out to Wellham. Wellham at ricocheted now then Galea with the knock on. That could have actually fallen for him. That would have been interesting.
Well, it's a changeover. No, the ball's hit the man. There was nothing that Gleeson did.
Had he taken that in, though, that would have still been the last tackle.
Yeah.
You never know.
Galea is prone to be able to put in a stab and a kick through. Now, can they get their discipline? The Rovers sorted out, because look how quick Wigan yet again. The runs from dummy half, they're just breaking this Rovers defence up. That's the reason why they've been caught a lot out wide as well. They're having to muscle up so many defenders down the middle of the park.
Gleeson gets Wigan to halfway. Luluai and Prescott. McIlorum goes right to Luluai again, under pressure from Vela, gets the kick away, but not good to Briscoe.
Not surprising, because Vela really did put him under pressure. That was good. But you can see the difference between the two sides. Wigan are just hanging on that touch longer, just to prevent the Rovers getting one. Look at that.
15 days to go to the grand final. There's the number you need: 08 444 777 113, or the website, the rfl.co.uk, or indeed for the Championship Grand Finals Day, which is at Warrington in 8 days' time.
Well, he read that well, didn't he, O'Loughlin? Could see that it was going to be the inside pass.
Well, Peter Fox has been hurt there in that tackle. The legs were certainly up.
Well, there's a lot of people get hurt when they run at Sean O'Loughlin. He's a central locking system of the defence that Wigan have had this season. Always in the middle and always controlling how they prevent their opponents making breaks.
High kick from Morel, well dealt with by Tompkins, dislocated finger or not. Richards now for Wigan.
Boy, that was a narrow 10 that Silverwood had them back there. Got them back a little bit better now. Well, that's again brought about by the eagerness for this home side. Get on with the game, quick.
Gleeson. Down on tackle number 4.
Look at
Rovers
them.
Trying to keep them down in their own half, but Luluai's kick down the centre of the field will buy them some territory, but that's a nice bounce for Briscoe.
Well, we saw last week how that the likes of Morel and Dobson control the game. Well, I'm afraid it's not happening for the Rovers so far, because it's Wigan that's controlling most of it.
Peter Fox with a run to the 40-metre line.
Their kick and chase has been pretty solid. It's been a bit ragged from the visitors.
I think Joel Clinton has a problem on the field for Rovers now. He's receiving treatment from the physio, as Fisher at dummy half on halfway. And they get the penalty, Rovers, for not standing square again. Side by side, says Richard Silverwood. Looks like Clinton is in a spot of bother.
Yeah, pretty slow to get themselves organised. Probably about the only second time that we've seen it from Wigan that struggled to get in one line of defence. It's been pretty well organised so far.
Penalties are all square at 5 apiece. Lovegrove.
Now then, we'll have one more drive and maybe a switch to the blind.
Well, Clinton is off his backside and into the action, and another penalty for offside. And again, the referee tells Wigan it was your markers not standing square. Now then, Justin Morgan watching here as Hull KR go for broke. 18-14, what they would give to turn round all square, or indeed just ahead. That's Morel, Galea, Briscoe. Briscoe, good drive to the line.
Great defence. Not one Wigan player came out of their line. They kept solid.
Morel pops it up to Clinton again. Ooh, Joel Tompkins took a bang then. He's not well. Fisher has spotted it. Gives it though infield instead to Morel. This now is Dobson. Dobson trying to jink his way through the line. Tucson and Prescott bring him to ground. Fisher, Morel again. Dumps the ball down. No way. Lovegrove trying to push his colleague over the line. It was Scott Wheeldon. Fisher dabs it to the in-goal area, and Prescott comes up with the goods for Wigan.
Not a bad option. Put the ball into a heavy crowd. He's got him offside. They were far too keen there. Just sheer desperation of the fact that they couldn't get over.
There's a clash of heads, obviously, that Joel Tompkins was on the wrong end of. He's receiving treatment in the in-goal area.
There's a split on the top there. I think he's got a little bit in the mouth as well. Oh, he's in the wars.
Prescott's taken a bang as well.
That'll take a few stitches. That needs to be attended to.
Well, there's two men who are needing treatment to stem the flow. Here's the clash of heads.
Yes, his own mate.
It was his own. It was Coley, was it?
Yeah,
it was.
Coley and old Tompkins really ricocheted on that one.
Coley's okay, not a mark.
Well, it looks okay. That's what regular training does for you, Eddie.
What was that, sorry?
Never mind.
You're telling me that you looked like that about 50 years ago, Mark? Wigan are in possession now. But that's an awful play, the ball. And I think Wigan have got the penalty because there was a mess in and around the play the ball, interference in the ruck.
Well, Clinton couldn't get anywhere other than going forward, and it happened to be across where the ball was, so deserved to get the penalty. Now this is vital if you're a Rovers fan. To concede points here just before the half-time break, psychologically it'd be a huge boost for Wigan. And they'll go for it. They won't be frightened of keeping the ball alive.
That's Prescott. Plays the ball to Gleeson. Here is Lulawai. This is Prescott, beg your pardon, that was Tompkins on the far side. They've all got head guards and bandages all over the shop. McIlorum to O'Loughlin, to Tompkins, to Carland! Oh, he's very close. Richards waits, fires the pass to O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin then to Tompkins. Tompkins showed it to Coley, took it on himself. Running laterally, Sam Tompkins. What a run! What a try to goalie! What a run from Sam Tompkins to set that up. Darryl Goulding with his second try of the match. But set up by a blistering run across the face of the Rovers defence by Sam Tompkins. Wigan strike right on half-time.
You cannot afford to allow a man of this calibre to run right across the field of play and just tease the defence. But again, this left-hand defensive line, look at that, Liam Colburn was left in no man's land. It's becoming a nightmare on this left defensive side for the Rovers. Take nothing away from this quality. On the arc, he should have gone out, Colburn. He should have left it for Wellham to take Sam Tompkins, and it has allowed Goulding to go in for his second try.
Well, Eddie, they've had to take the mandatory 8 count there. When a team's in trouble, the referee in boxing usually stops it and forces them to just gather their breath. Well, that's what Hull KR are having to do at the moment. Wigan just too much speed. It's almost like a schoolboy try, that. You very often see the youngest, fastest players at junior level just run across the field and run all the way around the outside. Sam Tompkins doing likewise with the pace that he had there.
Yes, it was a run that completely bamboozled Rovers' defence. Now then, Richards, 3 from 3, another difficult one for him off the touchline. Kicked one from here earlier. And he's kicked another from the touchline. He's been working hard, I think, on the goal kicking this week after the disappointment of last week. Wigan 24, Hull KR 14, a 10-point lead right on the stroke of half-time. Justin Morgan on his way down to greet his players in the dressing room in less than a minute's time. Darryl Goulding with the try. 2 tries in the home win against Bradford Bulls 2 weeks ago for Darryl Goulding. 2 tries in the first half here against Hull KR, but they've got the ball. Hull KR now 30 seconds.
And boy, they need something desperate. 10 points behind, they've got to come up with trumps.
And Newton halted by O'Loughlin. There's Cocaine. Dobson to Lovegrove.
They'll only have 2 more. They've got to opt for the kick early, or will it?
Fisher finds Dobson. Dobson to Newton, back it goes to Cockayne. Wild pass in field to Lovegrove. There's the siren. Half-time beckons.
Should have gone for the
Lovegrove
kick.
cannot get that away. Chance gone for Rovers, but at least they end the half on the front foot. Well, Wigan, Tompkins quickly off the field to get that finger put back, the dislocation. Wigan led 6-0 after 4 minutes. Then, remarkably, 5 minutes later, Hull KR were ahead 12-6.